Hey, I'm gonna take you through a quick run through of what the app can do so far. Sorry for the angle of the camera. I just put it on my desk and I'm trying to capture the whole form, but I can't, so there's actually more to it. But I'm just gonna show you what's important. Really over here, all that matters is the year, so the year of the car, so we can just skip that for now. So don't worry about the layout right now or the forms or the font. I just threw stuff onto the form just to start testing and seeing what works. So later on, once it's ready for use, I'll make sure I increase the font size and make sure that everything lines up and everything kind of flows. But to start off, as you can see, these are two combo boxes, or they're called drop down lists, either way. This one's make and this one's model, so this is where you would pick the car. Clicking on model right now, there's nothing in there because there is no make selected. So in here I have about all the car makes that you can think of. You probably won't use a lot of these, but still it doesn't take up really any space in the database, so there's no issue with picking that. So a lot to sort through, so what I allowed is that for you to type up here to kind of filter out what you're looking for. So if we start typing, say we're looking for Dodge, you can see it there. I'll hit enter, select Dodge, and now we can come to this model drop down, and you can see now it's filtered by all the models of Dodge, and there's a ton in here that you probably will never use, but still, like I said, I just populated with everything I could find. Only a few of these you'll probably use, but this also allows you to filter by typing. So say I wanted to pick the Nitro, and there it is. Now I have Dodge Nitro picked. And just to show you that that models drop down does filter by selection, let's just go to Chevrolet now. And now if you can see, now these are all the Chevys. There's this Camaro, Cavalier, Cobalt, and it just continues. So what's cool about this too is, even though I've only populated it with vehicles, this does allow you to enter in anything you want. So if you want to define your own make or your own model, it allows you to do that by typing. Or if you want to put in, boat make, model, or planes, you can. And what I mean by that is, as you're typing, it'll show you what's available if it finds it in there. But if it doesn't find it in there, so say I just typed something crazy, if you can see now this add button just appeared. So whenever it doesn't find a make or a model, in this case over here, that exists in the database already, you can just click add, and then now it'll be a selection in the database. And once you create a new make and you come over here to model and you type something in that doesn't add button will pop up over here, and it'll allow you to add it. So that would be a new selection of make and model that you can pick in the database. The functionality of it actually being entered in the database doesn't exist yet, but it's super easy. I just haven't added it, but I was just showing you that capability. The next part is the type of job that we discussed. We came up with 3 choices: patch, partial, and full. And basically, whenever you select on one of these, this darker gray area is a category panel, which this is where everything's going to get populated as far as your dimensions and picking, the sub jobs for creating, work. I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. I haven't populated these because I've just been working on this full one, but basically when I select this one, what happens is, if you saw, all this just got populated with tons of information. What it did was go into the database, look for all the fields you defined. So look, I've only entered in a few. So for seats, there's a category called seats, and then the subcategories for seats are driver, passenger, back row. You could add more, you could take them off. I just put those just for testing purposes. Same with door panels, and you see they're not exactly the same. Door panels, I have driver, passenger, and rear instead of back row. Fields for these subcategories that I've added so far are side, dimensions, width and height. In inches, we could change that to whatever it needs to be, and in the material. And over here there's a cost, 0 for now, right? So on the sides, there's these sides that I've allowed you to select. I don't know if you can read that, but all pretty much to, if you want to know, just put in the dimensions for the entire driver's seat, you can do all. Or you could get more specific, say you want to do just the front, just the left side, just the right side. This will allow you to start putting in the dimensions here, width, height. It doesn't matter in what order you put them in. But what's cool about this is, see, as I'm typing in, and then as soon as I select the materials, now this cost just populated. What I did is I put in leather, I put in the price in the database at $2 for a square foot, which obviously that's probably not the price. I just put in dummy data. So these prices can get adjusted. I just that'll be on your part. I'll build a form to allow you to do that. But if you see, as I change material, the price changes as well. So this is just completely dynamic. It calculates on the fly. So as you're making changes, price is changing. Even the dimensions, if you see 200 at 48 by 25, say I do by 75, you see as I'm typing, even as I'm deleting, the price is getting updated. So you're just going, and you know, as quick as you can move, you're populating stuff, you're putting in data, and this stuff is just updating for you. So this is also, you know, once you save this job, the next time you bring up this, you know, normally you'd have the make model selected, and then if there was already data for, you know, the driver's right side, it would populate it and it'd show you the price based off of the material you've picked before. And you know, you can just change the material if it was going to use different material. So once you start putting data into here, these fields will already be populated, but it'll allow you to make changes at any time. So what's cool also is there's this small add button right here. It's a plus sign. So say, you know, I just put in the dimensions of the right side for suede on the driver's seat, but now I want to do the left side. I just click this, and now a new I consider this a group of fields popped up right above the selection I just made. Wherever you click this add button, right above it, there'll be a new selection. So we can do left side over here. Same dimensions. Suede in there, and you just keep, you know, you can just keep adding as much, you know, as detailed as you want to get for each job. So you gotta realize that this is for one job. So if you can imagine how detailed you could get about a certain job, to kind of find out exactly the dimensions, the cost based off of the material. I don't have a total cost here yet, but obviously it would just be, as soon as you make all, you know, as you're making all the changes, there'd be a total cost label down here making, you know, the updates for whatever you select based off dimensions and material. I don't know if you can tell of how it populates. You see now there's 3 drivers because I clicked the driver under door panels 3 times. So say I click the rear 2 more times, and now there's 3 rears. So if you can get an idea, as you're getting more detailed into it, it's just going to keep track of all this data. So this is what I was talking about. That was really hard logic, but it's kind of a small part of the app. But this can be applied to anything, of how dynamic, of how, you know, on the fly. This job for this Jeep can hold, you know, you only doing a real simple job, it holds 4 fields, but this one for this other Jeep is super complicated, and it could hold, you know, 20 of these fields. And so it'd be super easy to keep track of all the costs by doing it this way, instead of, you know, doing it manually. So right now that's how far I am. It took quite a bit of coding for this, but like I said, from this point on, it should start getting easier, because that was a big portion of that's going to get applied to a lot of the features in the app. So hopefully I'll get to reuse a lot of the code I've already written. It kind of sucks showing you over the phone, but I just wanted to show you a little bit of what exactly it looks like. Sometimes I know me telling you versus me showing you is a big difference. One of these days, I think as I get a little bit further, I want to show you in person. Right now, I don't think, I mean, look, I went through a video in 10 minutes, so it'd be kind of pointless to, you know, us set up a date and time and meet just for a 10-minute, you know, for something I went through in 10 minutes. So if you think this isn't the route it should go, let me know. That way I can change it up, and if not, I'll just keep going. I want to finish this up, the total cost, and then saving a job. And then when you pick a make and model that has a job, that has data for that make and model, I want this all to populate based off of historical data. So I think once I get to that point, I can show it to you, because that's kind of all that we covered when we last met. So let me know what you think, or if I need to make any changes, man.